You will have to add all the column total. This is the column total and this is the row total. Check. Add all the things. What is this? Total of this? 500, 450, 950, 1000, 1200. Right? And what is this total? 300, 300, 600, 1000, 1200. Step 1 is to check whether the given problem is a balanced or an unbalanced. Now we could prove that the given problem is a balanced transportation problem. The second step is to find out the initial transportation cost. Okay, initial transportation cost you can solve using any of the method as I stated earlier, the Northwest Corner method, least cost method, or Vogel's approximation method, or shortly we call it as Mann method. As I have already told you, you will get the best possible result using Vogel's approximation method, and that is what we will use today to get the initial transportation cost. How to do that is a question. It is very special method. Vogel's approximation method is a very special method where we will try to find out the column penalties and row penalties. How do we compute this row and column penalties? Let us check. This, what we write here, this is called as column penalty. This is the first iteration of the column penalty, and this is the first iteration of the row penalty. Now, how to compute the penalties? You will have to take the least two costs in the corresponding rows and in the corresponding columns, and check the difference of the least two costs. Now let us take the first two, 4, 2, 7, 3. The least two costs are 2 and 3. The difference is 3 minus 2 is 1. So this is 1. And next, in the second row it is 3 and 5. So 5 minus 3 is how much? 2. And look at the next. This is the least two costs are 3 and 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So we have done the row penalties. Now the column penalties, let us check. The least two numbers are 4 and 3, which is 1. And look at here, 2 and 4, the difference will be 2. And 5 and 3, the difference will be 2. And then look at this, least two costs are 3 and 1, which is again 3. Now you can check in this that the penalties, after computing the penalties, you will have to select the highest penalty. Okay, you will have to select the highest penalty. Highest penalty is this 2, 2, 2 and this 2 and 2. So if you merge these, this would be these 3 columns and these 2 rows. Totally these 6 cells. In these 6 cells, the least cost is, so you have to make your first allocation in the cell which is having the least cost among the maximum penalties. So as I have already told you, you will have to always allot the least among the row total and the column total. So the column total is 300, row total is 500, the least is 300. So I will allocate 300 on this. So that means to say indirectly this becomes 0. So that means to say this destination 4, it has all the demand for the destination 4 is solved. So this 500 supplied from the third source, out of the 500, 300 it is assigned to destination 4. The remaining will be 200. Now we go for the second round of penalties. Same. So that means that this column is gone. We will not take this for any other consideration. Now we will worry about only these 9 cells. These two numbers are 4 and 2. So the difference will be 2. Here the least two numbers are 3 and 5. Again the difference will be 2. The least two numbers are 4 and 3. The difference is 1. And the column, again it is the same. 4 and 3 is 1. 2 and 4 is 2. and 5 and 3 is 2. Again check. This 2 and these 2 totally get these 4 cells. Right? So from these 4 cells, you will have to again make the allocation. This is 250 and this is 400. So which is the least? 250 is the least. So you will allocate 250 here. And this becomes 0. And this becomes 150. So this row probability is 1. But there is no more supply from this source. So it's out of stock. Now we go to the next round of penalty. Now we are left out with only these 6 cells. So therefore, we take the difference between the least two cost 3 and 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. So I take 2 here. This is 4 minus 3 is 1. I write 1. Column penalty is 3 and 9. So 9 minus 3 is how much? 6. So this is 7 and 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. And this is 2. 5 minus 3 is how much? 2. Which is the highest penalty? 6. Go here. In the highest penalty, which is the least cost? 3. So you have to make your next entry to this side. So what is the least? 200 or 450? 200. So this is 200. Allotment is 200. Right? So this becomes 0. So this becomes how much? 150. 250 is it? So this is 250. So this is 0, so this is 1. So we are left out with only these 4 cells now. So this is the 4th penalty. So 7 minus 5 is how much? 2. 4 minus 3 is how much? 1. 4. Now 7 minus 4 is how much? 3. 3. 5 minus 3 is how much? 2. Which is the highest penalty? 3. So among 7 and 4, which is the 4. So you have to make the allocation here. 150 and 200. This you will have to take the highest penalty. In the previous cycles, you could see that there was a clash. 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 like that. So we had to take all the combinations and among the cells of the highest penalty, we took the least cost. Here, okay, here the highest penalty was 6, not 2. The logic is highest penalty and the least cost. So highest penalty was 6 and among that 3 and 9 the least cost was 3, so I allocated. Understood? So here now this is 3, 2, 2 and 1. The highest penalty is 3 and the least cost is 4. 4. So 150 and 200, which is the least? 150. So I will allocate 150 here. Correct?
So because this, so for that, so that row consists of one penalty.
And repeating is
Modi method.
I'm telling you. Logic is highest penalty, least cost. I'm repeating again. The logic is highest penalty and in that least cost. It's as simple. Which is the highest penalty? 6. Among that it was here now among 3, 2, 2 and 1. Which is the highest penalty? 3. In 3, which is the least cost? 4. That's all. Whatever other details you are having confusion, erase it.
Sorry, if we got 3 or any highest number in the row, then we have to select.
Then you have to take from.
Okay.
highest penalty, least cost. Okay, always keep in mind, highest penalty, least cost. Now the allocation here is 150 and 200 is 150. So this becomes 0 and this becomes 50. Correct? So now, so this is gone, right? Now the next iteration. Now there is only one number. It's 5, this is 3. And this is 2. Highest penalty 5. So there is no other option. I have to. So 300 and 250, which is the minimum? 250. Correct? Please correct me if I am wrong. So this becomes okay. Right. So this becomes how much? 50. Observe, I had told you earlier, the final step you get the supply and demand equal if you are going correctly. So now you can say it is 50 and this side it is 50. So our last allocation will be 50. Okay, that last allocation actually I have to do one more. Technically to show it that it is only 3 here and from here it will only be 3 here. Anyhow. Got it? I hope this is clear. Now let us check what is the initial transportation cost. I write it here. Is equal to, we'll start from here, 250 into 2 plus 200 into 3 plus 250 into 5 plus 150 into 4 plus 50 into 3 plus 300 into 1. Please tell me what is the total? So as per my calculation, the answer would be rupees 3,400. Same problem we had worked using northwest corner method and least cost method earlier. You could have checked it was 3,600 odd, 3,550 something, the first two methods. And this method, it is 3,400. So this proves that Roget's approximation method is one of the best method among the other two methods. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Here we have completed about 40% of the actual problem. Now we will, I'll stop to this place, you can pause it, okay, and copy this, then we'll continue with the remaining part of the problem. Okay, students, we'll start with the next part of the problem. Step 3 is called as a degeneracy check step. What is the need of checking for degeneracy? Degeneracy check, we will make a degeneracy check to find out if there is a possibility of getting multiple solutions for a given problem. There can be multiple solutions for a given problem. But when we have a multiple solutions for a given problem, when we find out at the end, try to find out the initial basic feasible solution, that need not be the final solution. There could be a better solution when there is a chance of getting multiple solutions. So what we do in step 3 is we will check for the degeneracy. That means to say if there is any other possibility of allocation, or I can say a better solution. Is there any chance? So we will make this check called as degeneracy check. How to do this degeneracy check? The formula is n is equal to m plus n minus 1. Now, this capital N is the total number of allocations. What is the total number of allocations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 allocations is equal to m is number of rows, which is 3. N is number of columns. How many columns?
4.
4 columns. Minus 1. So this 6 is equal to 7 minus 1 or 6 is equal to
6.
When this condition is satisfied, it means degeneracy does not exist. Okay? What it means? It means degeneracy does not exist. When I say does not exist, it means multiple solutions is not possible. So whatever we are doing, that is the initial transportation cost being rupees 3,400, and the allocations made are very closer to the optimality or the best of the best answers. Now we will check in the next step after this, called as testing of optimality, or we call it as optimality test. Now a tool to check for the optimality is called as modified distribution method, or shortly we call it as MODI method. In some of the textbooks they also mention this as UV method, because we will find out the value of U's and the value of V's in this method called as MODI method. Okay? Let us check. Let us actually try to find out the value of U and V. How to do it? Let us learn now. Initially, I will name this. Normally, we take the rows as U's, U1, U2, U3, and the columns as V1, V2, V3, and V4. I suggest always how to begin MODI method or UV method is you will have to assume one of the variable among the U's or among the V's as equal to 0. If you don't do that, you can't solve this problem. But there is a trick to identify among these variables which one we can take and assume it to be as equal to 0. How to do that? You will have to check for the maximum number of allocations. Whichever row or whichever column has got the maximum number of allocations, you will have to choose that variable as equal to 0. Now let us check here. The first row has got 1 allocation, second row has got 2 allocations, third row has got 3 allocations, first column has got 1 allocation, second column has got 2, third column has got 2, and fourth column has got 1. Now which is the row or column which is with highest number of allocations? Third row. So what we can do is we will assume in our calculations as U3 equal to 0. This is how you can identify. Supposing if in a case even this way to be with 2 allocations, then you have the option of either assuming U2 as 0 or U3 as 0, or you can also take V2 as 0 or V3 as 0. Got it?
Yes, sir.
In that case. But here we do have one row which is having more number of allocations. So we will assume that row which is U3 as equal to 0 in our case. Now to proceed further with UV method or MODI method, we have 2 different categories of cells in this table. First one is something called as the occupied cell or the allotted cell. The second one is called as the unoccupied cells, or a cell which is not allotted any number of resources for. So you can see there, as I have already stated, cells here which are allotted or occupied cells, and the remaining are unoccupied cells. So there is a different method of treating occupied cells and unoccupied cells. So first we will try to make a list of and figure out how to work out with occupied cells, and then I'll teach you how to work with unoccupied cells. Got it? Occupied cells. For occupied cells, there is a formula that we use, and it is Cij plus Ui plus Bj equal to 0. This is the formula to handle occupied cells. Finally, I also write in bracket for your understanding which are those occupied cells, so that it will be easy for you to refer later. The cell is cell number first row, second column, and second row, first column, and second row, third column, and third row, second column, and third row, third column, and third row,
fourth column.
These are the cells. Okay. Now we'll start working with the row or column which we have assumed as 0. The reason is you have assumed the value of this u3 as equal to 0 here, because you can trace out the value of v1, v2, v3, v4 or the allotted cells of this row. That is v2, v3 and v4. You can find out, because you know, if you know the value of one variable, you can find out the value of the other variable, right? In the school basics you know that if you know the value of one variable, you can trace out the value of the other variable. But if you select any other rows or columns, you don't know the value of u1 and u2, neither you know the value of v1, v2, v3, v4, so you can't trace out any number or you can't solve the problem. So we have assumed one of our variable as 0, so we can trace the value of other. So that is the logic behind this. Got it? I hope it is clear. Any doubts? Okay. Now we'll start with the first one, C12. What it says, what is the cost of that cell? 2. Right? The cost is 2, right? Sorry. We will go with this. What is the cost of this cell?
4.
4 plus, it is u3 plus, how much is it? v2 equal to 0. Got it? It is third row and second column. So that is why it is u3 and v2 equal to 0. So this implies 4 plus u3 value is 0 plus v2 is equal to 0. This implies v2
is
is equal to
minus 4.
minus 4. So next we take this cell. The cost of that cell is 3. 3 plus u3 plus v3 is equal to 0. This implies
3 plus
3 plus 0 plus
Plus
v3 is equal to 0. This implies
v3
v3 is equal to
minus 3.
minus 3. We take the next cell from this same row is 1
1
plus u3 plus v4 is equal to 0. This implies
1 plus 0.
1 plus 0 plus v4 is equal to 0. This implies v4 is equal to minus 1. Please correct me if I am going wrong. Okay. So we have found out, or we have finished the allocations of that row. So we'll just write those values. V2 is equal to how much?
Minus 4.
Minus 4.
Minus 3.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
And V4 is equal to,
Minus 1.
and as usual, you know the value of. Now assume, since I know the value of V2, V3, V4, I can find out the value of these cells, these 6 cells, V1 and V2. Keep in mind, you don't know the value of V1, you don't know the value of U1, so never select such a kind of cell. Fortunately, it is not allotted, so no problem. In case if you get a situation like this and there is an allocation here, never take that cell unless and until you find the value of either V1 or V2. Got it? So now we will go with the other cells so that we will figure out the value of U1 and U2. So the next cell is this, or not that, I will not take it. Let me look at this. I don't know the value of U2, I don't know the value of V1, so I should not handle this. No, it's dangerous, you will get locked. So let us go with this allocation. Okay, I will not go with this also because U1 I don't know. So these two are dangerous traps. Never enter to these kind of cells. You have to enter to cells where either one of the variable you know the value of. So let us take this cell. Okay. So it is 5 plus U2 plus what is that? V3 equal to 0. This implies 5 plus what is the value of U2? We don't know. Plus what is the value of V3?
Minus.
Which is minus 10 equal to 0. This implies, see, plus into minus is minus, so it is 5 minus 3. So it is actually U2 plus 2 equal to 0. This implies U2 is equal to minus. Correct me?
Yes.
So you know the value of.
So we can take the value
Now
of
you see, you know the value of U2, so you can find out the value of V1.
V1.
Or even you can, since now you know the value of V2,
We can
find out the value of
U1.
anything. So we'll carry with this cell. Okay, let us find out the value of that. So it is 3 plus U2 plus V1 is equal to 0. This implies
3
3
plus
plus U2. U2 we know,
U2
right?
is minus 2.
Okay, we'll write it in the next step. Plus V1. This implies 3 plus
Minus 2.
minus 2 plus V1 equal to 0. See, there is nothing but plus into minus is minus.
Minus.
So 3 minus 2 is 1.
1.
So this implies V1 is equal to
Minus 1.
minus 1. So we just at the last we don't know the value of U1. So to find the value of U1, I will take this cell. 2 plus U1 plus V2. This implies 2 plus U1 plus V2 is minus 4. This implies
Minus.
wait a minute, U1 minus 2 is equal to 2, right?
Yes, sir.
This implies
U1 is equal
U1
to
equal to
2.
Is it correct? Okay? So U1 is equal to so finish the problem. So last part of the problem is, as I told you earlier, there are two kinds of cells we will have to tackle. The first one was occupied cells. Why we try to find out, what is it that we are trying to find out with the formula of occupied cells? We found out the values of u's and the v's. Now using these values of u's and v's, we try to find out the value of the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is normally represented as Cij bar. Okay. So, and this is for unoccupied cells. So unoccupied cells, the formula is Cij bar is equal to Cij plus Ui plus Vj. This is the formula that we will be using in the second step in Modi method. And for our understanding, we will try to find out which are those unoccupied cells. It is cell number, first row, first column, and first row, third column. Please help me out. First row, fourth column. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And then it is
Second row,
second
second
column.
column. Second row, fourth column.
Second row, fourth
Fourth
column.
Third row, first
And
column.
third row,
First column.
first column. So third row, first column. Totally there are 6. Okay. Now let us start with the first. The opportunity cost for the cell C11 bar. Right, this is the unoccupied cell, right? C11 bar is equal to the cost of that cell, which is 4, plus U1 plus V1. Because it is C11, so it is U1 and it is 4 plus the value of U1 is 2 and the value of V1 is
Minus 1.
minus 1. So it is 4 plus 1, which is
5.
so the next cell is cell number C1 bar. Opportunity cost for that is 7 plus U1 plus V3 is 7 plus value of U1 is 2 plus value of V3 is minus 3. So observe, this is 9 minus 3, which is how much?
6.
So next cell is C14 bar, which is 3 plus U1 plus V4, which is equal to 3 plus 2 plus minus 1. So it is 5 minus 1, which is
4.
then it is C22 bar, which is equal to 7 plus U2 plus V2, which is 7 plus minus 2 plus V2 is minus 4, which is equal to 7 minus 6, which is equal to 1. Then the next is C24 bar, second row, fourth column is 8 plus U2 plus V4 is equal to 8 plus minus
Minus
2
2.
plus minus 1, which is 8 minus 3, which is equal to
5.
5. Next is C
3, 1.
P1 bar, which is 9 plus U3 plus V1 is equal to
9.
9 plus U3 is 0
0.
plus V1 is minus 1 is equal to 9 minus 1, which is equal to what you have to observe at the end of this UE method or Modi method is all the opportunity costs. These are the opportunity costs. All the value of these opportunity costs must be positive. If we get the value of all the opportunity cost as positive, that means to say the initial transportation cost, which is rupees 3,400, is the initial basic feasible solution, or the best feasible in the sense the best solution. So we have found out the optimal solution initially itself, which is 3,400. Okay, so I will write a note here. Since all the values of Cij bar are positive, optimality is reached. Therefore, initial basic solutions is equal to rupees 3,400. I hope it was clear you have understood it.